is Jenny and I'm an incoming architecture and landscape student at the University of Sheffield. In this video, I'll share some tips that I picked up while making my portfolio and share some plans and examples that you can use for your own portfolio. So if you're like me, don't panic. I've been through all of that and I totally get it. These methods may not work for everyone, but I'm here to try my best to help you. I have another video that showed my full portfolio and some sketchbooks that I brought to the interview, and I put the link here. And now let's get started. I have seen videos of American college applications that are full of amazing architectural designs, renderings and models. However, UK undergraduate architecture schools are looking for more like an art portfolio. They want you to come and learn, and they want to see how you demonstrate your thinking, presentation and awareness of those surroundings through your artwork. Most schools, even Cambridge and UCL, explicitly said that they are not expecting any architectural designs in your application, and your portfolio should not be all about buildings. But they definitely want to see how you think in 3 dimensions, so if you do renderings or models for a product design, that would be a great way to showcase your skill sets as well. If you have old portfolios from GCSE or middle school, see if you can reuse any of your best works. I was creating my portfolio from scratch in a rather short period of time. So I gathered the best work that I had done previously in my own time to be my first draft, which saved a lot of time and made the follow-up process a lot easier. Once you have your work gathered, think about what really interests you and topics you would be happy to talk about if you have an interview. There are many ways to find inspiration, such as books, things and places around you, and of course the internet. Pinterest is a really useful platform and you can find all sorts of things on there. You could also make a mood board for your project and include that as part of your portfolio. Sketching is a great way to showcase your technical skills, but you should always have something original. It could be 2D, such as posters, magazines, fonts, or pattern designs. It could also be 3D, like textile, fashion, jewelry, ceramics, or product design. If you're not sure what to do yet, photography, scrapbooking, and collages are the easiest way to get started. This is my scrap binder and I use it for collages, and I collected all of these scraps from magazines and newspapers. Schools want to see your ability to utilize a range of different media. I have put a list of the ones that I use in my portfolio and they're all quite accessible. Feel free to use this as a reference, but again, try to be resourceful before purchasing anything new. I learned that from experience because I wasted so much money on things that I still haven't touched till today. There are 5 things I consider when deciding what to make or what to do. Is it 2D? Is it 3D? Is it observational, technical, or creative? These are the terms that I use to label and categorize my work to make sure the diversity of my portfolio. Combining the few points that I just mentioned, this is the table that I use to plan my work, and you can try to use this method as well. Let me quickly show you how I fill out this form. First, write down title or theme. What inspired you or what you're trying to achieve? Next, fill in the type, details or name, and then the media of artwork. Then fill in the top section. The difficulty level measures approximately how much time is needed to complete the project. Write down the number of pieces because there are page limits for your portfolio and you have to allocate the space wisely. I did a page of this for each of my projects and then organized them. By that, I can tell what was lacking and also plan the order of the projects. Schools like to see how your ideas are developed. I think this was the part that I did not do too well because most of my projects are not deeply developed. But when you're working on yours, try to show how you went from the initial idea to the final product. You can include your inspiration, drafts, making process, and even failed attempts to show how you learned and improved. Keeping a sketchbook demonstrates your ability to think, and it helps with your creativity because you can just draw anything you like. Because we're not doing it for exams or A-levels, we're not limited to a certain style and we don't have to find an artist for inspiration. You can draw anything you like and any topics that interest you. Obviously, you can sort your sketchbooks for different purposes, but in general, draw anything you like and use it to keep track of your creative journey. Live drawing is actually recommended by many art schools because it tests your coordination and observational skills. However, if you don't have access to live drawing classes, don't panic. Try urban sketching and draw pedestrians on the street, strangers in a cafe, or simply ask your family or friends to be your model, and they don't have to be naked. To create a similar atmosphere to live drawing classes, you can also challenge yourself and time each of your sketches. You may not have done live drawing before, but most people have done still life or landscape drawings. The thing that these all have in common is that you're drawing from something in front of you instead of a photo. This not only tests your observational, coordination, and ability to turn 3D figures into 2D lines, but it's also something very important for architecture: proportions and perspectives. I went to a one-day urban sketching workshop and 4 pottery lessons, and these inspired 2 of my projects. I think these short workshops and classes are the quickest way to get some work done. Because they have a strict time limit, you get pushed and forced to finish your work on time. Another advantage is that they already have a theme and you could just further extend and add more pieces based on that. However, you do not have to waste a great amount of money and pay for all of those portfolio classes. That was the biggest mistake I made throughout the whole application journey. It wasted my time, my money, and I barely learned anything. Also, the teacher was so rude and impolite, and it just made the whole experience so pointless, and it was just really bad, and I would not recommend it to anyone. The best way to ask for some help is to ask your teachers in school, like your art or DT teachers, or ask your friends that are doing architecture or art in university. They would be more helpful, more useful, and of course, well, more friendly to you. Since most schools are using digital submissions now, it is very important to photograph or scan your work clearly. I personally did not have access to a big scanner that can scan papers over A4 size, so I photographed all of my artwork. However, most schools should have a big scanner that you will be able to scan most of your 2D work, so ask around if you need to use one. If you have to photograph your work, make sure to get some good lighting that won't affect the original colors or details. When you take photos of 3D work, use a background that doesn't take the audience's attention away. Lighting and shadows are also to be considered. I use a large blank paper to be my background and my phone's torch to arrange the lighting. Whether you're scanning or photographing, make sure your resolution is high enough to maintain good quality, but low enough to fit in the file size requirement so it doesn't get compressed and blurred. The last tip is very important because recruiters and interviewers spend very little time looking at your portfolio. You want your layout and your whole portfolio to be clear, precise, and pleasing to the eye to deliver your ideas efficiently. Some of the more artsy schools may want more artwork than words, but again, every school is different, so make sure to do your own research. When submitting digital portfolios, make sure to check the following. Is it the one that you made for this specific school? If it includes any extra tasks, match the page limits. Are you sending it in the correct file type? You may need to compress your file if it's too large. Make sure you're sharing your portfolio in the way that they ask you to. It could be through email or uploading to a portal. You should receive emails or instruction about your portfolio submission after submitting your UCAS application. The deadline for submitting is usually 2 weeks from when you receive the email. But in case you don't hear from the uni after your UCAS application, send them an email as soon as possible. Because when I was applying to Manchester, they had a system error and they just didn't send me anything about the portfolio. When I finally contacted them, it was already way past the original deadline, but luckily they gave me another new deadline because it was, the system's fault. But if that happens to you, definitely send them the email as soon as possible. When I went for my in-person interview, I met some candidates that did not have a proper folder for the artwork and they just have the work scattered around in a plastic bag. But when you're interviewing, you won't have much time to organize your work in front of the interviewers and you just will get a bit nervous. You just don't want to be a bit of a mess when you're interviewing. So I would say get a proper folder, organize the work in a way that you're comfortable to talk about and easily flip so that the interviewers can just look at your portfolio and get your ideas instantly. I would recommend getting an A2 folder with rings because this size can fit most of your work and is transportable. Also, having rings means you can easily move things around and organize your presentation. I stuck my artwork to A2 cartridge paper so it's sturdier and they don't move around. I also use blue tack to stick them so I can easily rearrange them without damaging the work or the A2 sheet. For physical portfolio, an extra tip is that when you have a double page spread, try to put both sides facing the same direction to make it more organized. That's all for my tips and advice. If you want to see my portfolio, I have made a video about it and I explain all the thoughts and processes behind. I have also shown some of the sketchbooks that I brought to the interview. You can also check out my Instagram art account where I have posted my full Japan travel journal. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this video useful, or if you have any questions about portfolios, please comment down below to let me know. If you like this video, please also give it a like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye bye.